snowfall slams western Washington. More than a foot in some places is making for a late December winter wonderland.
They're awesome. Yeah. I don't have to be at work, so it's not bad.
We're tracking the impact on our roads, waterways, and in the skies as holiday travel gets underway.
Safety's got to come first.
Some holiday travel is getting delayed or canceled at SeaTac Airport.
Because we can only de-ice so many airplanes at a time based upon the space here, that drives the cancellation rate.
Alaska Airlines takes us to the tarmac as it battles the snow and cold to get passengers home.
I want to help stop this guy.
Women attacked in Seattle shared their stories tonight.
The more people who speak up, the better, the more likely it is that he gets caught.
They walk us through what happened in Coleman Park. King 5 News at 5 starts right now.
First alert, snow hits the mountains and lowlands around western Washington. We are tracking more than a foot of snow in some areas. This here is new video out of Seattle's South Lake Union neighborhood this morning.
To the north, this is what shoreline looked like this morning. As you can see, the snow made for some messy driving conditions.
The same story to the east of Lake Washington over in Kirkland. Snow falling here, completely covering a backyard. I want to get right to our first alert forecast tonight. I'm Steve Solis.
I'm Joyce Taylor, and Leah Pizzetti's here with more on hopefully some good news with the advisories, right?
Right, yeah. So we've been seeing them slowly expire as the day progresses, but we're not quite out of the clear. And even as we stop seeing snow actively falling, that does not mean we're out of the dangerous territory. We do still have the potential for any moisture that's fallen to refreeze and create those icy roads. So do not think clear sky means safe conditions. However, we are trending toward clear skies. We see a couple live looks towards Snoqualmie Pass, Stevens Pass. These are going to be the problem spots as we head into the next few hours. These are going to be the areas where we still continue to see snow falling overnight. A loop of shoreline. It's beautiful out there. We saw some kids sledding down that little hill earlier today. So most of what we're seeing at the lowlands has wrapped up. We had some advisories, some winter weather advisories and alerts across Puget Sound. Those have now expired, and we're starting to see these alerts slowly fizzle out. One that is still in place, though, is this winter storm warning. So really, like I said, the passes are the concern as we head into tonight. The Olympics, the Cascades, this is going to expire at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. So that overnight window is going to be the worst of it. Could still see another few inches falling at the passes, maybe up to about 6 inches in these overnight hours. And like I said, we're on the tail end of this storm, but we have these freezing temperatures and yet another storm heading our way that I'm continuing to track into the holiday weekend. I'll show you all that coming up in your first alert forecast.
Leah, thank you. Despite the weather advisories expiring in the lowlands, travel is still messy tonight. We're tracking travel delays in the sky, on the water, and along roadways right now. We want to start at SeaTac, where the airport is reporting about 200 cancellations due to snowfall. Another 330 flights are delayed. We're going to get a closer look at how one airline is working to keep its planes clear for flight. Coming up in about 5 minutes, a live report from SeaTac is coming up.
And now to our waterways, the Washington State Ferry route from Anacortes to the San Juans, it is falling behind after the Chelan dropped out of service due to a lack of crew. That is canceling more than half a dozen sailings. So if you had a reservation today, the ferry system says you will not be penalized with a no-show fee.
On the roads, traffic is slowed along I-5 in parts as we do hit the peak of rush hour. King County Metro has shifted its buses to snow routes because of messy conditions. If you do plan to use a bus to get home tonight or get anywhere tonight, Metro says you can sign up for transit alerts to get the latest information sent right to your phone.
So while traffic in the lowlands is still moving, the passes, they're proving to be pretty dangerous right now. Snoqualmie Pass this hour, it is closed in both directions. WashDOT telling us that crews are responding to multiple spinouts.
A live look at traffic conditions over the pass. You can see that purple spot there along I-90. That's where those lanes are closed. Stephen Pass also closed from Scenic to the Summit right now, and there's no word yet on when the passes will reopen. We do have crews tracking the impact of all this snow. We're going to check in with King 5's Eric Rizzuto in 2 minutes. But first, team coverage begins with King 5's Eric Wilkinson in Mount Vernon. Eric.
Yeah, even though the temperatures have been dropping, the conditions here have actually been improving, but not before hours of some very difficult driving. Ron Kesty has been on the road long before most of us woke up this morning, 4:30 a.m., trying to keep the roads of Skagit County safe for everyone.
It's terrible. Yeah, People need to slow down.
Ron is one of about 8 plow drivers in his district working 12-hour shifts or longer lately. He's hauling his third 8-ton load of sand, covering 100 miles himself alone today.
Yeah, snow plowing is my least favorite time of year, but it's part of the job.
About 9 inches of snow came down in Mount Vernon overnight, burying sidewalks and driveways, but still a welcome snow day for Walter Coburn.
Awesome. Yeah. I don't have to be at work, so it's not bad.
But for the rest of us, it was rough. The drive north from Snohomish County went through whiteout conditions at times, at speeds not much faster than 40 miles an hour. This crash on I-5 at the Boeing Freeway blocked 3 lanes of traffic. In fact, it was tough to even decipher any lanes on I-5. Several spinouts and accidents made the morning commute intense. The state DOT tells us statewide there has been so much snow, plows are primarily being used for sanding because de-icer is no longer effective. So far, there haven't been too many reports of trees down or power out, but this family had to use a stepladder to keep a big chunk of tree from falling in their yard.
People need to slow down.
For Ron, the miles, hours, and snow keep piling up. The work of a county plow driver tireless and too often thankless.
Let's be patient. There's only so many of us.
Ron reminds us that even if a road has been plowed and it looks safe, right now there's a very, very good chance that the street is still covered by a thick sheet of ice, so be careful out there. Now let's travel across the sound to Erica Zucco. She is in Silverdale tonight. How you doing, Erica?
Great, thanks, Eric. And in fact, the crews here have also been really busy trying to keep roads clear. And for the most part, most major streets have been okay, though tonight there are still some local closures, which Kitsap County is tracking. There were also a couple school districts that weren't out for break yet that canceled today, and some other closures as well. But for the most part, we saw people enjoying the snow across the region.
Riker. Be careful, Riker.
In Kitsap County, kids were plenty prepared for this snow.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Okay, Beth.
Mitchell Draper
You asked for it.
was ready for the roads.
I'm prepared with a Subaru and everything else. I grew up in the woods. This is what it's about. All right, get back at it.
He says years here have trained him for this kind of storm, with some winters snowier than others.
Everybody knows about the snowmageddon that happened. This one's getting there. It's pretty close.
This season's La Nina effect could add to snowfall totals. Driving from city to city revealed a range of snow amounts across the peninsula. The National Weather Service notes reports that neared an inch in Bremerton and much higher amounts in places like Pollsbo and Seabeck. Digging out may be an uphill climb for some,
But this one's looks like it's gonna stick around. We got a few more days coming.
but many look to be enjoying the weather just fine. And the snow has let up, just a small amount coming down right now, just really tiny flakes. But the concern tonight will continue to be the road conditions as well as the cold. Kitsap County says that it does have overnight shelters activated for anyone who needs them. Live in Kitsap County, Erica Zucco, King 5 News.
Okay, so this system is moving out of the lowlands, but cold temperatures are still going to make travel dangerous for the next few days. As crews work to clear the roads, make sure you download our King 5 app. That way we can send weather and traffic updates right to your phone. Just text the word app to 206-448-4545 for a link to download it.
Let's return now to the latest at SeaTac Airport. We're in the middle of the holiday travel season, and the snow is causing some issues on the tarmac.
So at this point, about 200 flights, as you said, have been canceled, another 330 delayed. So to narrow it down, more than 220 Alaska Airlines flights have been impacted so far tonight. Right now, Alaska says it's trying to keep its planes de-iced and ready for flight. King 5's Kristen Goodwillie joining us live from SeaTac. Kristen, what's the latest from there as they're trying to keep those planes moving?
Well, it is stressful when you have to deal with flight cancellations, and something many don't know is that that responsibility falls on the airlines to make that decision. And today, Alaska Airlines had many cancellations. They told me that it comes down to several factors.
The airport is packed, families excited to reunite. Outside, there's even snow falling. But with that snow and ice comes cancellations and delays.
We want to make sure that we are providing guests with as much advance notice as possible. And so if we cancel closer in, they're at the airport already.
This is the leading edge of Cowell, and of course we want to make sure this is clear of ice.
Alaska Alaska Airlines says de-icing is the main reason for the canceled flight.
There are different levels to de-icing a plane, and a plane will not take off if there's ice accumulation. Here at SeaTac, this is one of 8 de-icing pads, and Alaska Airlines says many of the cancellations we're seeing today are because of the additional time it takes to de-ice a plane, as well as limited space here at the airport.
And it just takes time. We want to make sure that we take the time that we need to de-ice our aircraft and make sure they're safe to fly.
Over to the north end of the airport in the cargo area.
We're excited to see snow. We're ready.
SeaTac Airport's field crew has been working 12-hour shifts since Saturday on standby. Today,
you know, the minute they get to see action, it's like they're excited and ready to go.
Was their time to shine. The goal is to clear the runway in 30 minutes. SeaTac maintaining the ground while airlines take care of the planes.
Everyone here at Alaska Airlines is committed to get our passengers where they want to go. There's no doubt, including all the pilots. However, safety's got to come first.
Now, Alaska Airlines plans to be back on schedule tomorrow. They tell me that they have rebooked about 70% of travelers and are already looking forward towards Thursday and Friday's potential weather. Live here at SeaTac, I'm Kristen Goodwillie, King 5 News.
And if you are flying this week, a reminder about SeaTac's Spot Saver program. It lets you schedule TSA screenings in advance, then jump to the front of the line. You can book online at the Port of Seattle's website. Our First Alert Weather Day continues. It's still in effect across western Washington tonight.
Our news weather departments are tracking conditions up to the minute. Your full First Alert forecast is next.
Also ahead, 2 brothers have pleaded guilty in the death of their cousin in Mason County today. They learned how long they're going to spend behind bars.
Plus, an earthquake rocks Northern California. A closer look at the damage after that quake struck the coast. We've gotten so many videos and photos from you of all the snow falling in your area. This one is from Catherine in West Seattle, and we would like to see the snow in your backyard. Send us your photos or pictures to 206-448-4545. King 5 News at 5 returns in 2 minutes.